Hello everyone, Michael the Mechanical here today with another video, and this one's meant to be a bit more condensed because I found that the video I just made last night is quite large. It's also not focused enough on like a certain aspect of what I'm doing. So let's go back to the major details. The car has had, in total costs wise, with actual receipts and actual documentation, it has had $7,538 spent to it to date of parts available to date, and those are also not including parts that are still being purchased. These documents are sampled because the information is not 100% confirmed until the project is completed. So for this video today, I want to talk about the genuine parts that we can still obtain, but maybe not directly through Mitsubishi. And the thing is, I laid them out because I wanted to show off the fact that we do have these parts and to actually focus mostly on the genuine parts. And that's what I want to do today. Now, I can't find the prices quickly on the documentation, so what I'll do is I'll put the documentation to the side, because I do remember most of these prices roughly what they are off by heart. I could be wrong, varying changes from time to time, and we'll look at what we've actually got. So this is not going to be a camera on the stand, this is going to be us looking around at what the parts are that we can actually obtain. So as you can see, there's a lot of stickers and a lot of genuine OEM numbers for the associated parts on the table, still in their OEM packaging. Some you'll question, why is there a old looking sticker versus a new looking sticker? This is because the parts, these are old stock and these are new replacement parts, and that is because old stock ran out and they had to make new ones to compensate for the missing stock, and so they put new stickers on. Then we also have our timing covers, and as you can see, the bottom one seems to be plastic bagged up, whereas the top one wasn't. The top one was just put straight in the box, and it was in this box with this sticker. And as you can see, the bottom one seems like it might still be in production due to the newest sticker, the part number, and being bagged and packaged differently as to the old one. I'll also note that when I looked at this, there's also these light, sort of imperfections on the covers. So that is genuine OEM parts. They were made by original equipment manufacturers. I have nothing to do with their manufacturing process, but it was in a Mitsubishi genuine box. It was a genuine part. It is, and they are genuine parts. And there's nothing wrong with those slight imperfections, I don't believe, unless you guys want to say otherwise. That being said, let's talk about the value of the parts on the table currently. Now, not all the parts are here that I've spent money on, but roughly for the parts on the table, there's around about $500 to $800 worth in parts. And it's easy to go here now and say there is about $300 sitting right there in these three parts combined, making that a little bit easier. And in these batches here is about $200 to $300 on its own as well. These sit around about $40 to $50 a piece on average, and I've accidentally bought two of them. As you can see, I have two. These actually were not purchased through the same company. They were purchased directly through Mitsubishi, and as you can see, there's an old one there too. But these were actually purchased directly through Mitsubishi. This is $100 on its own. I don't think I should include that in cost, but this is $100 worth. I bought them out. They have no more parts. But as you can see, genuine OEM parts coming from directly Mitsubishi are exactly the same as the stickers placed on other packages. Exactly the same. So that's how we can clarify these are original equipment manufacturers as well, and they're not aftermarkets or anything. Another thing, we still have another part here. This sticker actually hasn't been stickered to the bag. It is just on a sticker. It means I could tear it off and put it on a shelf or something. We have a fuel. We'll run through the price of these parts again. So there's about $40 to $50 each. These are the thermostat housings. I have two here on my bench because I accidentally bought one too many. I have these little bushes. These are about $13 each, I believe, and that's why they came to about $100, because I think there was only 8 of them, even though the bag says 10. One of these, I did note, is actually not a new one. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 of these bushes. These are not really something that everyone's going to purchase. These are actually the studs that go into the back where these bolts are right now, and that's why it's sort of an issue. This part here is the turbo relief. They cost about $20 to $30 as well. These hoses cost about $5 to $6 each. I bought extras because it's easier to just buy them and then unpackage them, or sell them as a kit sort of thing. And if they're in a genuine bags and not like, hey, I've snipped the hose, then it makes a bit more sense to you guys to be like, oh yeah, this is original, came from the manufacturer sort of thing. And it's because I can't reproduce those sort of stickers. Actually, I noticed the text seemed a little bit different, but I'm probably wrong. This here cost about $30 to $40 for this one part. Surprise, surprise. This is the water inlet / outlet pipe turbocharger cooling. That's what it represents. This is the tube turbo coolant line. It doesn't make any sense, but that's for the inlet for oil. I believe that was around $40 to $50 on its own as well. This pipe here was $60 to $70 on its own for MD308431. This dipstick, I believe, was about $20 for MD137446. And then all these little brackets here, I think some of these were about $3 to $4 each for 1 piece, 2 piece. It's like 1 piece cost $3 to $4 for those bits. These ones here might have costed $4 to $5. Essentially per set, it's probably about $10 a set. The bolts cost about $1 to $2 each. I think they're about $1.17 each. But they got the washers on them. They're the genuine ones to go with these brackets. They are the genuine brackets. This is just a seal. I don't remember how much that cost, but you can easily just say, hey, if you don't want a genuine seal, go straight to an auto seller and see what they're worth. Each one of these covers cost about $100 each. The valve inlet cost about $100 on its own, and the reason I recommend getting these for your car's brand new valve pressure inlet pressure release is it will protect your engine from getting over boosted and potentially causing damage, but also because there's another interesting side effect that people might not be wary of. This will actually protect it from having an emissions test which causes it to produce more NOx than OEM equipment is meant to be producing. The other effect is higher compressions apparently as well, along with oxygen. High compression in an oxygen-rich environment will cause the engine to create more NOx emissions, and that is why it's a good idea to potentially still keep these on the OEM equipment, because you're going to be producing more NOx if you take this off, and that will be bad for pollutant reasons, and it could get you in trouble if you're going to do one of those tests where the government or the police want you to take your car into, have your car safety check, that they might actually check for NOx emissions and carbon emissions and say, hey, you can't have this on the road. But this is all the genuine parts that I have currently to date. There's potential that I'm going to be getting more. I'm still waiting on an exhaust manifold, and to provide evidence that I have an exhaust manifold is this one here, but it is broken, damaged, and the metallurgy is bad. So that's pretty much all I can really share for what genuine parts I have. As I said, there's about probably $500 to $600 on the table. I can't remember how much. Probably more, probably less. I can't confirm without checking against my paperwork again. That paperwork makes it too hard for me to provide evidence on the OEM parts that are here, because it's all mixed up. If I really wanted to, I could, but it just takes time, and I don't really want to spend a lot of time trying to develop another video based on the same subjects. But guys, now that you can see that I can get genuine OEM parts, one of the things I gotta ask you guys, if you go through me to get these parts, would you like me to do quality assurance checking to make sure that the parts are of quality? Is there any sort of imperfections that you do not want, such as these little dimples? Now, I'd believe that these are like a genuine OEM thing. I don't know how to get rid of those, but if you want them to be perfect, I can probably do the homework. And if you want the quality, you want them to look nice, and you don't want those little dimples there, I can look into how to process the material in order to keep it, you know, looking consistent across the piece of material, rather than making it look worse than it already is. And it'd be a learning experience. I'd have to study for it. It's one of those things where I can do, you know, QA on those sort of things if I can. Otherwise, I also have the potential that, because there's also genuine parts you can't buy anymore, I have the potential to get remanufactured parts made with my contacts and my suppliers in order to have aftermarket sort of stuff and create and have aftermarket support for your cars and your parts, depending on what you need. In some cases, I'll actually have to request the part in order to, you know, refabricate it or do anything. Another thing before we go, if anyone's looking for one of these, I'm going to make a point. This part here, we're potentially going to look into remanufacturing a couple of these, because this part, the reason I have in my last video suggested not going looking for parts and going buying whatever you want is because this part has the same part number, MD something, or some other part number, the same part number as the one for the water-cooled turbocharged engine, and the parts, they say are the same, but they're actually different slightly. The one that's for the water-cooled is the same part number, but the one for the water-cooled has a little pipe here, and that's what the tape is there for, because we've got to weld a tube there, and then we have to drill it. So there is a potential that we're going to make new ones of these and have two different variations. One is going to have the tube on there, and the other variation is going to be just the standard one of these. Although you can still buy them, they're expensive as anything, and I'm pretty sure if you want the water-cooled setup, you're not going to want to be buying an OEM one of these and then having to modify it in order to make it right. You want to get that OEM sort of part, design, layout, whatever, even if it's in aftermarket format, that is produced properly and cost effectively. You don't want to have to spend, you know, 120 bucks on that and then pay someone else to add an extra piece to it. So anyway guys, I'm Michael Mechanical. I'll be signing out for this video. But otherwise, if you guys are looking for parts, feel free to contact me at my business email. Feel free to leave a comment in the comments below talking about what sort of parts you need for what cars. Leave a, you know, frame number if viable or possible, and we'll see what we can do. I'll try to get back to you on some pricing for those parts to see what we can do and organise. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. It shows a lot of love and support, and I will see you guys in another video. Take care everyone.